Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to check out some of the different meals and recipes that I've been enjoying as I've been working towards my goal. Today is day 933 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose almost 260 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you're struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe we can help. And if you're succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing to succeed. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go over here. Hello. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Couple people checking in here. Tennis and yoga girl, pretty girl's mom, the shrinking shadow. Hello, everybody. I hope your weekend was wonderful. We had a pretty busy weekend, and we'll go over some of that today here. But really, the weather was great, really starting to get into summer, or summer's right around the corner here. So let me see if I can go through. I don't think I was live on Friday. I don't believe so. So let me see what I have for food picks from Friday. Let's go over food. All right. So looks like Friday afternoon, this was my lunch. I did not take any photos of the oatmeal that I had for breakfast, but this was Friday's lunch with potatoes and broccoli. Then for dinner on Friday, we had something that we had a salad. I always bring up with salads that anytime we have salad for dinner, I have that brief moment of kind of, oh man, we're having a salad. But then once I start eating the salad, I realize, oh my God, this is really amazing and it tastes wonderful. And so this was the salad that we had Friday. There was lots of cucumber in there, lots of zucchini in there, all kinds of different ingredients. I don't even know if I could name them all. Onion, let's see, peas, corn, spinach, like I said, cucumber, looks like there's some quinoa in there, all kinds of wonderful things in the salad that we had Friday evening. Very filling. I'm trying to think of if I think I put some of the California balsamic vinegar in it. I just can't remember which flavor I used. We have a few of them. I don't see any chickpeas in it this time. But we have put chickpeas in our salad in the past. There's red peppers in there. I don't think I mentioned that. So yeah, that was dinner on Friday evening. Then on Saturday, I got a bunch of different photos on Saturday. So first, we'll just start off Saturday with our standard oatmeal for breakfast that we had. And then we ended up having a event that we went to on Saturday. It was a local group. It was the Plant Pure Nation. and then I think it's called Heartland Rooted was the group that we are part of or that we follow. I not what was it called? Heartland Rooted. But it's I know they have these plant-based pods is what they call them throughout the United States. And so we went to the get together that we had. The Shrinking Shadow here says, I admire your dedication to your weight loss plan. I thank you. You're really killing it. Congratulations. How do you keep yourself from straying from your plan? It's something I've talked about a little bit here as far as sticking to the diet or staying on the diet. And I think a big reason why I'm able to stick to this diet is because I make sure that I eat a lot of food. I feel that many times, when people start to say they have cravings or they're starting to think about eating foods that aren't on their plan, I think that maybe it's that you're under eating and that you need to just eat a larger volume of low calorie dense foods. So a big thing that's helped since we started doing, since January, we did the Chef AJ's reboot and we added broccoli to our diet. And I eat a bag of broccoli with my breakfast and I eat a bag of steamed broccoli with my lunch. And that right there increases the volume I'm eating, but it's very low calorie dense. So I keep my calories in check just by eating low calorie dense foods, but then I satisfy my natural cravings for more food by eating that food. And it's not just the broccoli. I eat large amounts of potatoes. I eat a large bowl of oatmeal. So I think that what helps me stick to my plan is by eating a lot of food that is on plan. Not having the temptations around is a big thing that helps with me as well. We don't have really any foods in our house that that I am tempted to eat, I guess. It's tough because we have kids. So our kids have food in our house that isn't on my diet, but it's not food that I am tempted by. And a lot of times if I go to the pantry, I have to walk by our fruit before I get into the pantry. So I know I can have fruit available or I have something available to eat that's on plan, would be the other thing. So I stay on track by eating when I get hungry, and when I have cravings, I might not eat what I'm craving, but I eat because that's what the craving is. So let's see. Back to this weekend. So it was, I'm pretty sure it's called Plant Pure Nation. Let me look up who that is. Plant Pure Nation. It was a movie. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Sorry, I'm trying to type this here. Heartland. Yeah, it's a Plant Pure Nation pod. And so they had a get together this weekend in our community where it was a potluck that people were able to bring their own food, and we brought some food with us, and then they did a presentation on different local places to buy some plant-based food. So they had gone around the area and went to a lot of different like Asian markets or ethnic markets and kind of checked out what they had and kind of shared with the group what you could get at those places. And so let me see here. So they had a whole bunch of different foods. A big part of the Plant Pure Nation, I know, is the removal of oil. They also encouraged the people that were making the dishes to try to avoid using any added sugar or any added salt. So we went to the potluck. It was me and Carrie, and then 3 of our 4 kids went to it. Our other kid had some other obligations. So we went to the event. It was really fun to take the kids there. I think everybody that was at the event was happy to see us show up with kids, because it was a lot of it was an older crowd. The average age of people that were there was, much older than even me and Carrie. And then we brought 3 of our kids with us. So they were, I think, encouraged to see a family come in and see, us trying to eat better and trying to make better choices for our kids too. And we were happy to go with our kids and give them a bunch of variety of things to try. Not everything there was going to be something that they loved, but at least everything there was something that they could eat. So I took a bunch of photos of the foods that we had, and some of the recipes. So I'm going to try to go over some of those. I don't have pictures of everything, but let me see what I can show here. So this was an eggplant recipe that they had. There's tomatoes in there. I'm not sure what the cream sauce was. From the recipe on this, I believe that this was salt, oil, sugar free. I imagine that the sauce probably was made with cashews. But this was something that I had. I really enjoyed this, and just had a little bit of it. This here was a dish that, they had all the recipes listed there, and this was I think this was the vegan cauliflower migas. And so I took some of that, and when I first looked through the ingredients, I didn't see any. Oh, I see it now. So there was 2 spots where it says that there was salt in there. And so when I first read it, I didn't notice that it said that there was salt in the one ingredient. And then also they used the Aldi's Simply Nature Organic, which had 100 milligrams of sodium in a 2 tablespoon serving. So I did have a little bit of this. It's crazy to me how much my taste buds have adapted, that I noticed that this had salt in it immediately. Even though it's really not probably a lot of salt in the whole, like if that's all the salt that went into the whole dish, then overall it wasn't that salty of a dish. But I immediately tried it, and I was like, this tastes like it's got a little bit of extra salt in it. And once I realized that it did have salt, I did not eat any more of it. I did have some of it. I enjoyed it. And I know that the kids liked this a little bit more than some of the other dishes. So I liked this one, but it does have some salt in it, which was unfortunate. Tammy here says that you went to a Plant Pure Pod on Sunday. That's awesome, Tammy. I hope you had a great time. You said you went on a potluck on Sunday. Janet, Plant-Based Peddler, was there. That's awesome. I hope you guys had a great time. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. And like I said, it was great just being in that environment with our kids, showing them that we're not the only crazy people in the world that eat this way. There's other people out there eating this way. Let me see here. I did not take a photo of everything, and I did not eat everything that I took photos of. But one of the other things there was, this is what Carrie made. This was awesome. This was the Well Your World sweet bean taquitos. It had sweet potatoes in it, cumin, garlic, red onion, nutritional yeast, and then we use these corn tortillas that they're just 3 ingredients in the corn tortillas, or 2 ingredients in the corn tortillas. And then Carrie mentioned on there that she had forgot the cilantro in it. But we brought these, even though there's no salt, oil, and sugar in them. They were my favorite thing that we had there, and everybody complimented Carrie on the taquitos. They went over really well. So if you're interested in making something like taquitos, I do recommend checking out the Well Your World recipe on that. And actually, here's a picture of the couple taquitos that were left. Everybody really enjoyed them, and they went over really well. I would have eaten a whole bunch of them if I could, but I only took one because I wanted everybody else to have a chance to try them. But I was nervous that they weren't going to go over well because I don't always like that corn tortilla, but after Carrie baked them, they really had a nice crunch to them, and the flavor was just wonderful with that. This other dish here was something I did not eat any of this because I saw that there was salt in it, but I wouldn't even know. Kachati? I don't even know how you would say that, but it is an Indian dish that somebody made there. That was it here. I didn't take my photos until after everybody had kind of gotten a chance to get them. Carrie says, one of the twins keeps begging me to make that one. Which one is that one? Is it the taquitos, or was it the what was this called? The migas, the vegan cauliflower migas. The yellow one. Oh, okay. This one here. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't try this one, but our kids liked it. Carrie said that one of our kids liked it a lot. And then this is the eggplant, the container the eggplant stuff was in. Let me see if this is what we had. Yes. So let me hope that there's no, I guess there's liquid aminos in there. So everything probably had a little bit of salt, or nothing was completely exactly what is on our diet, except for maybe what Carrie brought. But this was really good as well. I really enjoyed that. I was trying to see what the creamy sauce is: cashews, lemon juice, white wine vinegar, and then mint chopped. So Carrie says our kid refers to it as the yellow one, or the yellow dish that they had. That's great. Let's see. Gene here says we're lucky to have a Plant Pure Nation pod near us. The close one to you is in Rochester. That's a ways away from you. That's crazy. Yeah. So that's yeah, it is nice. And they seem to have something, I think, every month, and we just happened to be able to make it this month. So it was really nice to get up there and meet the people that were running it, and kind of learn some new information. And so then this was a pear slaw. Again, I did not try this at all. There wasn't very much of it left when we got there. But another one of the dishes they had, this was curried collard wraps. I don't think I had this one either. Let me see. Oh, maybe this was... No, this was like a wrap. I did eat this, though. This was lots of vegetables. I think that the only thing that was on here was a California balsamic vinegar. And so this was just a bunch of big vegetables or some vegetables with some vinegar on it. So I enjoyed that. That would have been on plan. I did not get a picture of the recipe. Maybe I did. But there was another item that I got that was not salt-free, that I didn't realize that it was not salt-free when I grabbed it, and then after I ate it, I realized it, and it was this plant-based potato salad. Looked delicious. I was kind of questioning it. I was like, I wonder how they made potato salad and made it salt, oil, sugar-free. I had quick looked at the ingredients, and I didn't notice salt on the ingredients. But then after I ate a little bit of it, I realized that there is pickles in the ingredients. And in order to make pickles, you need a lot of sodium or salt to make pickles. So this was another one. Immediately once I started eating it, I was like, oh my, this tastes far too good. Let me go back and double check the ingredients. And then immediately I realized that it was the pickle that I was noticing the flavor of. And so I just had a little bit of that as well. I'm not upset that I had things with salt in them. I just, I didn't eat a lot of it, I tried it out, tasted it, saw how it was, I guess is the way I feel about it. And I don't imagine it's going to cause that much of an effect on my weight loss. Everything else was extremely healthy, and none of this stuff had any added salt or any added oil. So just having a little bit of added, no added sugar, no added oil. So having a little bit of salt isn't going to wreck things, I don't believe. So let me see. I kind of skipped around there to get to that photo. Let me see. This was the taquitos. This was just kind of, I took a bunch of different things or samples of everything that I took a photo of that I shared with one of my kids that was next to me, or we tried a little bit of everything there. I did really enjoy everything that I ate. There was nothing I had that I would say that I would not have eaten again, other than the things that had the salt. And, I wouldn't choose to eat those things that had the salt in them, but I enjoyed them. I probably enjoyed them more than, because they have salt. So let's see. This was that salad that had the salad here. The ingredients in it were black beans, roasted corn, green tomatoes, yellow, red, and orange peppers, cucumber, cilantro, and then they used the California balsamic cilantro herb balsamic vinegar, and that was really good. Let's see. So then, this is a better photo, or a bigger photo of the bowl. With that, I went over the potato salad here. Let's see. Carrie said that if we have pears this summer, she is going to be looking for that pear recipe to try it out. Our twins had seconds and thirds of the potato salad. Yeah, the pickles in that made the potato salad really, really good. So that was something that I was very happy when I was like, oh, this tastes amazing. And then I looked at the ingredients and I was like, oh, this isn't something I'm going to be able to regularly have. It'll be okay today, but not something we'll have all of the time. Carrie says that it was nice for them to be someplace where they could eat everything offered. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh no, you can't have that. And if they did find something that they liked, we went up and we got them more of it. There was enough for them to have seconds or eat more of some of that food. Because me and Carrie have been talking about it. And this summer we're going to try to, clean up our kids' diets a little bit more than that even is so far. We're going to try to get them eating a little bit more whole food, plant-based, and a little less processed. And hopefully this summer we're able to get them on board. We've been laying the groundwork for the past few days or the past week, and been having them try more foods and pushing them to eat more of the dinners that we're eating. And they've been responding pretty well to it, which is nice. So then that was kind of, I think, most of the food photos I took. And then I did take a few photos just from the presentation, the ladies that were setting everything up here. Like I said, they went to a few different ethnic grocery stores in our community. Some of them were grocery stores that had restaurants or just grocery stores, and just kind of talking about the different things that you might look to get from those places. Maybe they have a certain type of fruit at this place that you can usually get at a better deal, or certain grains here are better. And it was really nice for them to kind of go through and take photos, and they visited the places, and I took photos of the addresses so that I could go check them out. And and see what they had at these places potentially, because we get most of our groceries from Walmart or the local like natural grocers, Aldi's, what's the other one? I can't think of it right now. Fresh Time, a few other places like that we get our food from currently. And so I just took those addresses down just to have different places to look at here. Gene here says, better recognize the salt content when eating, I should say. Oh, did I miss something? It's really important to know that they did have salt there by having some control over the food. Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just so hungry and I saw all the food that I just scanned the recipe so quick that I missed those few things. But as soon as the food touched my tongue, I was like, I'm going to go back and look because I'm not sure, and there were 2 cases where there was salt in those things. And then now I realize that one of the other items I like had liquid aminos in it, which is also something that I would not eat at home. So, but again, it was about exposing our kids to it. It was about meeting new people and seeing, what other people are enjoying. And so it was fun. And our kids enjoyed the food. I don't know that they didn't really pay attention to the presentation, but they had a good time. And so then on Sunday, just to wrap up food here, Sunday we had broccoli. We had some, I didn't take pictures of the oatmeal, but I had potatoes and broccoli for lunch. And then late night snack. This is still Saturday. I'm not even into Sunday. So after we had that thing, something that I've been trying this out, or I haven't been trying it out, but I've been thinking about this in my head, is that when we have stuff that's off plan or we have stuff that's off our diet, our first instinct is to stop eating. I ate too many calories. I shouldn't have had that junk food for lunch. Now I got to not eat so that I can make up for the fact that I had that horrible thing or I had that cheat meal. And I think that is the wrong way to go about it. Because if you eat that junk food and then you don't eat anything afterwards, then that leaves that food in your system for longer, allowing your body to digest it more and to absorb more of those things that you don't want your body to absorb. So after we got done with that event, it wasn't right away, but I wanted to make sure that my next meal was a very large meal to help push through any of that salt content that I had from that lunch. So after that event, I did have a big bowl of potatoes with broccoli, and then I had dessert that evening of some pineapple. Then on Sunday, we had our oatmeal with our broccoli for breakfast. Then for lunch, potatoes and broccoli. And for dinner last night, we had so I think it was the farro soup, but Carrie was low on the farro, so she also put barley in there. So we had barley and farro in with this soup here. Lots of other wonderful ingredients: carrots, potatoes, green beans, and really it was a good dinner last night that we had. Carrie says that you missed me talking about the taquitos. Yes, everybody loved the taquitos. She's saying they are from Well Your World, and they would be passable for people not necessarily eating this way, but maybe add some salsa or guacamole on the side. Yeah, I really enjoyed the taquitos that she brought. I definitely could see having guacamole or what was the other thing you just said, or a salsa, that you would dip that in or kind of scoop a little bit of that onto the end of it, and it would add some flavor for people that aren't necessarily eating salt, oil, sugar free. But I enjoyed them greatly. We had lots of compliments about them. Everybody came up and made sure to tell her that they enjoyed that. So then today we had oatmeal for breakfast and then broccoli. Oh, I didn't take pictures of my broccoli and potatoes for lunch today, but that's what I had. Same thing as we have most weekdays. So that was kind of all the food this weekend, going to the Plant Pure Pod meeting and getting to see other people that have been eating this way for probably a lot longer than I've been eating it as well. That's something that too, the Shrinking Shadow asked me about how I stick with it. I think a part of it too is that I see other examples of people, or I've seen examples of people that have been able to do this for longer than me. And that's something that encourages me, because for me, sustainability was a big part of this whole thing, finding a diet that's sustainable and a diet I can stick to for the long term. I did have a bit of a non-scale victory. um, and I don't know if it's much of I can show the photo here, but this is me on my lawnmower. I have a riding lawnmower, and you can't really tell, but I was cutting my grass, and I was trying to find a comfortable spot for my left foot. And so I actually had my left foot up on essentially the dashboard of my tractor, and I was driving it around. And that is absolutely something that I would not have been able to do 2 years ago. And just like, I have a fairly large tractor, and driving the tractor around, it could handle my weight, but it would take a toll on me to cut my grass. We have a fairly decent sized yard, and it takes a while for me to cut the grass. And especially on my old lawnmower, my hips would physically get tired from just sitting, because I'd be riding on the mower, and we have hills and things in our yard. And so I'd be like driving at an angle across a hill, and I would have to be kind of pushing my body weight back from kind of tipping over, and that would wear out my hips. It would wear out my leg muscles. While I was just sitting driving a lawnmower, I would get worn out. And now I'm able to hop on the lawnmower. I still even have to have a little bit, like, when I'm driving the lawnmower and there's something in my way, and I have to stop the lawnmower, hop off the lawnmower, go and move that thing, or maybe there's a bunch of branches that fell down that I have to collect a bunch of them and go take them over to our fire pit. In the past, having to do that used to take out a ton of energy, just take a ton of energy for me to do anything. And so now when I see that stuff in the yard, the first thing in my head is, oh, all the effort I'm going to have to, like, oh, maybe I should drive around it. Because in the past, I would have driven around those things and just dealt with them later. And now I have to like reprogram my brain to be like, hey, it doesn't take you any effort to hop off this tractor anymore to go move that stuff. And I noticed that a lot when I was cutting the grass yesterday, that I could walk around my yard and pick up sticks and walk up and down these little hills, and I wasn't getting tired. And it's just awesome to be able to do that and not get tired. Lynette says you love the Hello Kitty bowls. Yes, my Hello Kitty bowls. This is what happens when you live with 4 women, when 3 of them are under the age of 10. You're gonna have some Hello Kitty things. So yes, and I love our Hello Kitty bowl because it's one of our largest bowls, and that's why I use it, is because it's such a large bowl that I use. So yes, I love the Hello Kitty bowl, and it's good. So the non-scale victory, cutting my grass, doing my yard work, being able to walk around at 200 and what is it, 58 pounds lighter than what I was 2 years ago. It makes things so much easier. And there's projects that I've put off that I'm able to do now, or I'm able to at least work on and feel like I'm able to get something done without just exhausting myself to the point of, of fatigue and having muscle sore, like it's so crazy. I'm still like having a hard time wrapping my head around this 260 pounds. The idea that I used to have another one of me on my back, and to do anything, I had to walk around with another one of me on my back is just crazy, because I don't even know how I did it. I don't know how I was able to stand up. I don't know how I was able to walk, drive a vehicle, to cut my grass, to take care of my kids, to walk I wasn't able to do any of those things properly. I was able to do them, and I was even proud of myself for being able to do those things at 520 pounds. But I never did any of those things well. I was just able to do them. Just because I was able to go to work doesn't mean I was doing my work well. Just because I was able to play with my kids does not mean that I was playing with them as good as I could have. Um, and it's crazy now. Like, just to think how much I was hindering myself with all of that excess weight and all of that. And it was all body fat, like it's 260 pounds of body fat that I've lost. And that's just amazing. I'm sure there's some muscle that I lost, but I still have some pretty strong muscles. I'm not, and it wasn't hundreds of pounds of muscle I lost. It's, at 260 pounds, at most, it was 60 pounds of muscle and 200 pounds of fat loss. And that's giving a lot. That's being generous to how much muscle I lost in the past 2 years. That's just amazing to me that I had that much extra weight. And I'm sure it was amazing to other people around me, like I can't believe that he's that big. But I'm just so happy and grateful that I'm free of that weight. I feel, I'm able to do the yard work better. I'm able to go and do things with the kids. We went to a public event with other people that I had never met before, and I was comfortable going. I didn't go there feeling like everybody was going to be looking at me funny because I was the biggest guy in the room. And it was really a great weekend this weekend that I would not have been able to have. Like, at 520 pounds, this weekend would have just been me sitting in my house and trying to figure out how I could get the grass cut with as little effort as possible. And that would have been my weekend. And as soon as I got done cutting the grass, I would have used that as an excuse not to do anything else the rest of the weekend. I would have been like, I cut the grass. I spent hours doing that. I'm exhausted. And that was not the case yesterday. I was able to do that, spend hours and not be exhausted when I got done, and have the energy to get more things done and work on other projects. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that I found this way of eating, and it's made such an impact on my life. And people around me are really starting to notice. I feel like I've had, people ask me questions about my diet more in my personal life. Granted, it's a hard sell to get people to switch to this way of eating. Especially the low carb stuff that's out there, and people being afraid of carbohydrates and thinking that they have to eat this keto diet or eat a diet that's high in protein, low in carbohydrates. And it's difficult because I want people to make the change. I want them, they see the benefits that I've experienced. They see the differences in me. But I think too many people think that you can change your diet, moderately, make these moderate changes and see success. And while moderate changes, you'll see success possibly if you're reducing the amount of processed foods or the amount of calories that you're taking in. But to see the sustained success that I'm seeing, it is moderation is a myth. The myths of moderation exist. The myth of moderate consumption, the myth of moderate, what is it? Myth of moderate consumption and the myth of moderate change. Those two myths are out there that, it doesn't make this seem any easier when, I tell them that, somebody that if they want to see success, that they should eat a plant-based diet free of salt, oil, and sugar, and that they should go all in. A lot of people want to just dip their toe in. They want to try, oh, well, maybe I'll just start eating more plants, or maybe, I'll try eating a little bit less processed foods, but it doesn't ever get you away from it. It takes complete abstinence to see the success. I really feel that you have to be dedicated to that abstinence, because you have to be as dedicated to abstinence as you are to your goal. And if you're not dedicated to your goal, then you're going to let things slip in. If you're dedicated to your goal, then you're going to stick to it. You're going to keep at it. You're not going to give in to the temptations. And, this weekend it wasn't temptations. It was slips, I guess, or it was just me not paying attention. But I'm not discouraged by it. And I don't really consider it a failure in my diet. But if I don't see the weight loss, I'm not going to be surprised this week because of what I've had this past week. But I know that going on the next week or the following week, that those things will, that'll get out of my system, and I'll continue to see weight loss as long as I continue to eat my whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. And so that was my weekend. It was a great weekend. It was fun. It was, weather was nice, and got to meet some new people, got to talk a little bit about myself and my weight loss and brag a little bit about that, because I think that's why a lot of people come to this way of eating, is for health. Eating a whole food plant-based diet, or eating like they eat with the Plant Pure Nation. I think a lot of people come to that way of eating because they're trying to improve their health, and be able to show off that I did improve my health, or that I am improving my health, was a really good feeling this weekend. And I'm glad I was able to do that a little bit as well. But I think I'm going to get out of here for today. I got some other things I got to finish up at work, and then head home. I'm sure we got a busy evening at the home. So I appreciate everybody checking out today's video and all of the encouragement and support that you guys have been giving me over the past 933 days, right? 33 days. And it's been awesome. So thank you guys so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And hit that like button on this video as well. I'd really appreciate that. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. And there's nobody that reaches their goals, looks back, and wishes that they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. So get started now, guys. I will talk to you later.